The Guardian, Leo.
So the Guardian running with police missed chances to arrest Wayne Couzens as a sex offender suspect. So there are clear chances. He's obviously been pleaded guilty to 3 counts of I think exposing himself to people, and yeah, he exposed himself 3 times, and 3 times he was caught and arrested and charged for. But yeah, 3 times, and witnesses recorded either full registration details of his vehicles or partial details and reported it to the police, and the police did nothing, and they left him to continue serving as a Metropolitan Police officer with a gun, or entrusted to a gun, and obviously went on to commit that horrific murder.
Everard.
And one of the incidents was just 6 days before that. So if the police had done their job and just apprehended him, then perhaps, she'd still be alive.
Yeah, it's often the case, isn't it, when you get a case that kind of triggers and provokes a whole slew of debate about how laws need to change and how culture needs to change. You just think, just do your job with the rules that are already in place, and this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. It's astonishing that and they didn't even expect him to plead guilty to these 3 charges of indecent exposure, but he has. They got stuff, like Leo says, from his number plates, from his phone data, and then Lee Anderson's been in the news for saying that there's nothing wrong with the death penalty. If there was ever a case for the death penalty, this is a good candidate.
It's very interesting, that, isn't it? Because I've seen various arguments back and forth, and they're always the old ones with the death penalty, but a lot of them seem to rest on a kind of notion of the slippery slope, which is interesting because the slippery slope is always used as an argument, usually by Liberals, against reactionary measures, isn't it? But that's what they say with this one. If once you bring it in, for heinous crimes of this kind, before you know it, you're having to, you're having to hang men who have
I'm not convinced.
Killed a burglar in their own garden or something when he was coming at them with a machete. You wouldn't. I think even if you just took one out like this a year.
One a year. With people where the technology...
It could be like the lottery.
Yeah, exactly.
Where technology has made it, incontrovertible, why not do it? It was brought in the 60s by a radical leftist.
Yes.
Most British people believe in it for things like child murder and terrorist murders.
And as you say, the extent to which DNA evidence, and it's not absolutely foolproof, but you can really ratchet it up to a chance in a billion. Yeah,
and we're bringing through euthanasia.
Yes.
Some countries that are really advanced with it, like in Canada, where if you can't afford your bills or you're going through mental difficulties or
your team lost
stuff
at the weekend.
Basically, you got a bad hangover, you can just phone up the government to come around and do you in.
People are happy to have a military, but then they say we can't have the state killing people. It's like, well, what's the military now? So it's the arguments are often pretty thin.
It is interesting. I mean, you're a Christian, Nick, and I know one of the things that gets brought up a lot is life ultimately sacred, and if the state accepts that it has the right to take life away, then that undermines the notion that life is sacred. But if you've already got the state offering euthanasia, then that seems to sort of nibble away at that beforehand.
I'm going back to the Old Testament, eye for an eye. We had it right there. Why did we change that?
Vengeance is mine, saith the state.
I love that, though. Just 3 people advocating the death penalty. You'll see that on many channels.
From all different sides. We've got the atheist point of view. There's Presbyterian and the Catholic.
But all pro.
Finally,